give the folks a little tour of our spot. Are you okay with that? You okay with that? I think she's okay with that. Today I'm going to give you a quick little tour around our spot and around this area because I've gotten a lot of questions. Now, keep in mind that I have to be considerate of my neighbors, so I will not be showing you a lot of their tiny houses, a lot on their tiny houses, you know what I mean, because I don't have permission to do that and they deserve their privacy. But I'm going to show you this spot and then we're just going to take a little walk and go down to the river because I think you'll really love that. I'll also insert some footage of the campground that's down below. I'll show you what I mean. I can't go down there to film because there are people down there camping right now. But when I came to see the spot, the campground was empty. There wasn't anybody there yet. And so I did take some footage of that. But again, to be considerate, I am not going to go walk down there and film. Those of you that watched the video of us pulling into this spot are familiar with this view. We now have the skirting on and the shed on, so it looks a lot better. But here is the tiny house in its natural habitat, I guess you would say. There are several other tiny houses over here and one over here. It's a really pretty spot because I get east, that's the east, this is the west, and so I get morning sun on this side of the house, afternoon sun on this side, and in the later afternoon it's kind of partially shaded, which is really nice. I am trying to figure out something to shade. Well, I'll show you in a second, but let's just walk around and have a better look. So there's a spot to park the van. She sticks out like a sore thumb. What can I say? She's a big girl. And that's just the way it is. But if we come back here, we can see that there is room to park her in front of the tiny house. I just got my propane tank and just got my stove and oven working, which is great because, as you know, it hasn't been working for a while. So here's the back side of the house. And back here is just where the utilities are. So there's the utilities for this tiny house. And then over here are the utilities for mine. I have my water and my sewer outlet right there. Yeah, you can see how I've got my water intake, and I bought a brand new heated hose. In my last spot, the water came up underneath. It came up behind the skirting. So I didn't necessarily need a heated hose per se. I did have heat tape that I wrapped around from where the water came out of the ground and up into the house because it was just a very short distance, you know, a couple feet. But because this is quite a ways, because the water intake is at the front just behind the gooseneck, I thought it was best to buy myself a brand new RV heated water hose, a really good quality one. So I spent the bucks, because now I don't have to worry about it freezing. And it does have a thermostat on it, so it kicks in when it's needed. There's a switch inside the house that also electrifies the plug that this is plugged into. So there's my electrical. The house was built to work on 50 amp, but the park here is 30 amp service. So I bought this reducer. I checked with my builder before I did that to make sure that the house would run on 30 amp, and she said, yeah, it'll run. You just might not be able to use your washer dryer combo unit and your microwave and your toaster or coffee pot all at the same time. I don't do that anyways. And the fact is, I have my computer going, my printer going, my second monitor going, and I can, you know, use my microwave, use my coffee pot, and there's no problem. Even in my last spot on 50 amp service, actually, even in Calgary, if I used my toaster and my microwave at the same time, I would blow a breaker. So nothing's changed there. But this is the back space. Behind the houses, if we look down here, you can just sort of see Well, I don't know if you can actually, but let me walk back here. But down here, you'll see the roof of the shower and washrooms and laundry. That's right there. Over here is another tiny house. There are 6 of us here total. Apparently this was the original one that was here. And so that's what's going on back here. My neighbor is not here right now, so I'm actually watching her kitty cats. It's been a lot of fun. So here's the campground. And obviously in the winter, there's nobody here, but in the summer, these people come and they have their same spots every year. So this isn't one of those campgrounds where people are coming and going every week or every weekend. These people are regulars and they're very quiet. I haven't heard hardly anything. So that's really quite nice. And what you can't see is on the other side of those campers is the river. And there's a little beach area there, but that's not the one that we go to, like I say, because we stay away from there when it is camping season, summertime. So just coming around my neighbor's house, we end up back at what I'm calling the meadow. And this is really quite nice because this is where we see all the deer. The deer. Now don't get me wrong, I love the deer. They're so cute. But these little buggers are voracious. And so all of the pretty flowers that I started with have pretty much been munched down to very little. Yeah. I have one geranium flower left. Apparently they don't like the, what do you call those things? You know what I'm called, those, cannot remember what those called. I'll think of it after. But they do like geraniums. They like these little things. They have little tiny blue flowers. Don't like lobelia. And they don't like these bidens, which is nice. I don't know. But it's kind of frustrating because this was so pretty when it was all very, very in bloom. Not so much anymore. The hummingbird feeder outside my window, I did have the bird feeder here. But then one morning, as I was lying in bed, I heard some munching. And I looked out and saw a deer having quite the fun experience here with my bird feeder. She totally emptied it out. Little bugger. I didn't know they would go for the bird feeders. I don't know. And so, yeah. So I've put it up over here. It seems that they don't, she's not really noticed it here yet. We'll see. I guess I need to put it up higher, but I really like having it where I can see it. I don't know. But these plants are doing okay. Oh yeah, my tomato. I had more than one little tomato on this vine, but the deer ate all of the other tomatoes. And she demolished my honeysuckle vines and my clematis. She hasn't touched the Chinese maple yet. I don't understand. I don't understand. This seems to be doing okay. And I have some dahlias. What I've realized is I'm not growing flowers or vegetables. I'm growing a salad bar for the deer. I'm not going to fight it, at least not this year. Just gonna go with it. Water them. If she eats them, she eats them. I shoo her away if I catch her. But, you know, there's nothing but lush greenery around here. She doesn't need to eat my plants, and especially my neighbor. She's got some glorious plants and lots of vegetables, so she ended up just rigging a makeshift fence in her little alleyway between her house and our fence to try and keep them out. It seems to be working. Anyways, so this is my little seating area, and after work and my walk, I will often sit here and just relax. It's very relaxing. And I do love it. And I've been taking this umbrella and angling it over this window, which is the kitchen eating bar window, in the afternoons, so that it's shading it, because the sun does beat in here And I closed my curtain on my office, in my office window, because it's just too bright to see my computer in there. But I want to have this window open, and I just don't want to have all that sun beating in. But otherwise, it's been working really well, and I'm loving it. As we come out of the campground, there's this place. Now, I don't know who owns this, and I'm, not going to film over the fence or anything, but this is the coolest house. I am so curious about this yard. Now, there's this lot for sale. That I am manifesting as mine. It's actually 1 acre. It's been for sale for a long time, probably because it doesn't look like much from the road, and there's this huge mobile home on it, and it's quite dilapidated. Even though the realtor, because I called the realtor just for shits and giggles, was trying to tell me that I could, just redo the roof. It needs a little updating. And I'm like, oh, I had walked in there because there's nobody living in there. And the windows have been left open. So it's been open to the environment for years. And which means water and everything's gotten in there. And it's kind of a gross mobile home, but it's huge. And apparently there have been a couple other offers on it. But the big sticking point was that mobile home. And it's true, because to get rid of that mobile home is going to cost a bit, right? Nobody's going to pull it out and take it. So if it were me, I would want a good chunk off the price to have that, to buy it, that property, if I had the money. And then what I would do is I would just basically tear that mobile home apart and take it away in pieces. Pull out all the metal, take that to the scrap yard, so it's recycled, and just tear the mobile home to pieces. Anyways, let me turn you around and you get to see just how pretty this walk is. I should mention that property that I was just talking about backs onto the river. So it's got riverfront access, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty steep walk down to it, but it's still pretty cool. It's not a very long walk. It is through this little park, provincial park, but there's people here, and there's obviously houses on the other side of this fence. So it doesn't feel unsafe or anything to be down here by myself. And I'm usually not down here alone. There's usually somebody down here enjoying the water as well, either letting their dogs swim, or their kids, or themselves. I just met the cutest little guy named Jack, who said hi and then told me about his boogers, which I just love. Much to his mom's chagrin. So the water is super low. There's not normally this much rocky beach down here. And normally this is so deep that you can't touch the ground. You could still jump in there to swim, but it's not going to be nearly the same. Kind of crazy. Interesting. I suppose it gets like this during the summer. I've just never been here during the summer. But this is where I come after work usually, or I drive to the ocean. But here I can come without having to drive anywhere, which is really quite nice. I can walk down here, I can jump in the water, and I can cool off. And then I will go and I will sit on my chair over there and read for a while. Maybe bring a snack. It's really quite exceptional here. So I'm going to show you some footage of the campground when it's empty and the river down there. This is the campground that's below the bluff where the tiny houses are. Here we have the bathrooms and showers, because the park has got that campground and the year-round RV park, as well as the tiny house community. There are showers and laundry facilities on site. So these are the bathrooms. Showers. So this is pretty handy when, you know, your bathroom's out of order. How cool is that? Made from scrap metal. This guy in particular cracks me up because I don't know if you can fully see that, but hilarious, hey? And there's a couple more over here. Whoever this artist is, he is inspired to use what some would consider garbage to make some pretty cute art. So then we have our laundry facilities in here. This has been really awesome. So, gotta love that. And if you want your unhealthy snacks, there's that. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I just wanted to show you the tiny house parking spot as much as I can to respect my neighbor's privacy and a little bit of the immediate area. I can drive to the ocean in no time, but it is really nice to have a place that I can go to after work, that I can walk to after work without having to take the car out, and just relax, dip my toes in, swim in if I want. The water's really low right now, so the swimming holes that you couldn't touch the ground on when I first got here are now probably up to my waist-ish. I guess that happens in the summertime, but it's still very refreshing. I didn't go in today because I was filming, but I usually at least sit with my feet in the water. I bring my chair, I bring my book, and I sit and I read and just relax. It's very nice here. One of the extra nice things about this location is that there's a bathroom and showers that are open year-round. Both of those things are open year-round, because even though the campground is only open in the summer, the RV park is open year-round, and the RVs that are there stay there year-round. And then of course there's the tiny house village. The laundry facilities are awesome, but that shower I have been using because I'm having issues with my tub. Again, if you have been a long-time viewer, you'll know that I had some issues with my tub back in Calgary. I have discovered what the problem is. I'm working on fixing it, or at least doing a temporary fix until I can do something more permanent. And I'll share that next Sunday because I'm working on that this weekend. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I just wanted to share it because you have been asking and I have been wanting to. If you enjoyed that video, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy these videos in general, please subscribe because it doesn't cost you anything. It really helps the channel grow. For my Patreon supporters, thank you so much, because this wouldn't be possible without you guys helping support the channel, helping me with the move financially. It's been amazing. There's been a lot going on in the background, and I just love you guys so much. I love all of you, and I just wanted to say a special thanks to the Patreon supporters. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're staying safe. Remember, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. I love you, and I'll see you next time.